Welcome back. You are tuned in to another episode of keepthechange.co.nz's Money Mail. It is good to have you here as always, especially in these tricky economic times, and you're putting your mind on your money, trying to keep your shit in line like a train on the train tracks. Where's it heading? Fuck knows. Hopefully you know where you're heading towards your goals and making sure that you can achieve the things that you'd like to achieve, and you're not waiting for external things to change, and you're starting internally and then pushing back out the other way and getting the things that you want in your life, from your life, because you know that you're more in control of it than anybody else. However, today on Money Mail, we're going to explore it. We're going to explore those ugly words that we keep seeing pop up, and there's 4 of them. This country is fucked. There, I said it. I keep seeing this on Instagram comments. I get emails. It's starting to get louder, and it's pretty scary because it's a scary place for us to get to as a mindset individually, but then also as a collective if more people keep buying into that and agreeing with that, right? But some of the data doesn't lie, man. You know, we had a record of people leaving the country, and for the first time since 2013, I believe it is, more people are leaving than are coming here in a month, and that might change next month. But I'll tell you a couple of things that you might not think about or you might not hear in the media. Now, if you think about it, when an economy turns down, there's less jobs available, right? So then people, they may not want to come to New Zealand, because why would you come here if the jobs aren't here? So think tech sector and think construction and things like that. So, you know, you think people who have come here, and my barber is from Jordan, for instance, and he came here because people from Jordan are already here, and they told him, you got to come here, man. It's fucking unreal. It's amazing. And he's come here and he loves it. Can't believe it, man. Gets to do fades, fully sick fades. Does my one. Come back 2 weeks later, get rid of those grey hairs for me, brother. Thank you. And he's like, man, all I do is cut beards in Jordan, and he's learned English from scratch since January. So he's only 7 months in, and it's not amazing. You know, I struggle for like fluent or fast conversation with him, but he's so happy, man. He's smiling. He can't believe the variety of the work that he gets to do here. But he came here because 5 of his mates or people from Jordan told him, you got to get here, man. You'll be a chance here. Now, that is not what you're hearing out there at the moment, right? New Zealand is fucked. That's not what 5 people from Jordan telling the 6th person from Jordan. He's coming here and he's like, I can't believe this place. This is amazing. He loves it. But you think Filipino construction, for instance, oh, be careful coming here. The economy's slowing down. The hours are decreasing. The work's not here. Shit, maybe I won't go to New Zealand. Maybe I'll go to Dubai. I'll go to America. I'll go to Australia. I'll go to an economy where there will be work for me. So that means that the word starts to spread. You know, remember that Afghani, I think would be the correct word. I'm not amazing at that stuff. Afghani Uber driver that I had, and he said to me, I've lost my job in construction, but I'm driving Uber now, because you have to make something of yourself where I come from. We don't want to be taking welfare. And no doubt, you know, that's great if you can do that, but maybe the Uber driving dries up as well, and it becomes tricky. But it shows you, right, that then that person could say to people back from where they come from, hey, if you're thinking about coming here, just be careful. The work's drying up. So not only are people then spreading that word, but the economy is drying up, and then there are less jobs, and then you think, okay, more Kiwis are leaving for a better future. They're heading over to Australia, for instance, 50% of them. And then you have the people who have come here who want to work. So if I go back to my Filipino examples, and this is legit, this is what happens. So they come here, and then they are in construction, for instance, but they want to do 60, 70 hours a week because they want to make money, and they want to send it back home. Now, you have to think about that too, just that's a tangent, but remember, people are coming to New Zealand trying to take our dollar because it's stronger than theirs and send it back home to provide for their family. Now, we could think about that too, and I did a podcast with Luke Snedden, it'll be out, where he has learnt that, like, let's go raid Australia, let's raid America, let's raid the UK and get their dollars and bring it back into New Zealand. But people do that here because our dollar is stronger than theirs. So much like we think, okay, I might go earn the US dollar because it's stronger, or I might go live in Bali, live for cheap, and then earn Aussie US dollars and whatnot. Filipinos, for instance, they see New Zealand as a way to do that. So come, apply their skills in construction, earn money, spend bugger all, and try and spend as little as possible and send it back so they can give their family a better life. But if the hours aren't there for them, they don't want to be doing that because they want to be working. So if you bring Filipino workers into New Zealand, very roughly I think, and some people in this space will know more than I, but you have to provide at least 30 hours work for them, whether they're working or not. So even if there's not work for them, you still got to pay them 30 hours. Now, a Kiwi mindset, some would go like, fuck yeah, 30 hours and I don't even have to do anything. A Filipino mindset's like, I need 60 hours. I didn't come here to work 30, man. I want to be doing something. So they might even quit that job and then go and try and find something else. And if it's not there for them, they might want to go home. But also, they're probably going to tell people back home, be careful. There's only 30 hours. So now we're really into that point where the data's really interesting. You know, where more people are leaving than are coming. And I guess if the country's fucked, as people are saying, why would you come here? And if that becomes the narrative, that could get worse. But anyway, that's a tangent that I didn't foresee us going down, but that's what's playing out at the moment to give you some context. But let's explore. So, apparently the country is fucked. And that is according to some people who message me and leave me comments. And I know, and I see how tricky it is out there. We've been talking about it for years, so I can see what these people are trying to say. Now, here's some examples that we see in 2024 to sort of back it up that the country is fucked, right? House prices are down nearly 20% from the peak. That hurts for some people. They don't want to see that. But remember when they were up 40%. Remember the FOMO. Remember all the TV articles about people going to open homes and real estate agents absolutely cranking and people sanitizing their hands so they could go into the open home and all of that sort of stuff. Do you remember that? But that wasn't that long ago, was it? Remember the share club stories on social media and in the media? People getting together. What shares should we be investing in? Remember that? It wasn't that long ago, was it? The stock market has been hammered. The New Zealand one anyway, the US one, the S&P 500 has hit an all-time high this week. But remember when your neighbour had a stock tip for you, guaranteed to go up. Mate, are you in on this fucking cannabis stock? You got it, mate. Honestly, Canada West, man, fucking epic. That's gone south, hasn't it? Probably, I don't even know. I don't even need to look it up to probably know that I'm right with that one. But everyone was talking about medicinal cannabis and cannabis that, and you got to get some shares, man. That wasn't that long ago. Where the hell's all that gone? Retail trading is down. Oh, looks like at a value level, it's back at about 2017 type rates, and it's plummeting. We're seeing hospitality close down. SPQR this week here in Auckland, which is an institute, they call it. How's that closed down in Ponsonby? My suspicion, and apologies to anyone listening from that environment, but I'm sort of looking at that going, wow, if they're going under, what do they know that we don't? But also, knowing what I know about business, is there a play here where we're going to see that restaurant back in some form in a different sense, maybe closer to summer or on the other side of this downturn, and they're not prepared to ride it out? I don't know what's happened there, but I guess we'll learn more about that. But pretty crazy if that's going under. I don't know how long that restaurant's been around for, but in an affluent area and the sort of place to go for a lot of people. Anyway, retail trading, hospitality, it's fucking cooked. But remember when it was booming and you were tracking parcels online like a detective, clicking on the link, oh, where is it? Oh, okay, it's been shipped. Oh, where about? Oh, looks like it's a day out. Yeah, putting it up on your social media. That wasn't that long ago, was it? Unemployment is increasing. ASB suspect that it could get to 6% by June 2025. That's a lot. That's a lot of people compared to where it has been. But remember, not that long ago, 80% of wages for employees were subsidised by the taxpayer, by you and I, helping other people get their wages. Tens of thousands of businesses, probably hundreds of thousands, but certainly hundreds of thousands, even millions of Kiwi had their wages subsidised by other taxpayers and by debt that we now have to pay back. That wasn't that long ago. Remember that? We were sitting at home getting paid 80% of our wage guaranteed by the government because of what was going on. And now, people are losing their jobs. Tourism stopped in its tracks. Remember them. on LinkedIn, if you're in that sort of space. Geez, they were blowing up in tourism about tourism stopping on a dime, and you've killed our economy, you've killed our industry, all this stuff. Where's our support? How come the racing industry are getting support and we're not? Man, they were going off. They were absolutely getting out there and demanding change from the government and money and all sorts, because their economy had been stopped in its tracks with the country shutting down. But now, she be booming in some parts of the country. They were pretty quiet. Pretty quiet. That wasn't that long ago either, was it? It's easy to forget how frothy it was out there. There wasn't too much complaining going on when it was really frothy. People who are right into their economics and debt and understanding money were going, oh, I don't know if we're on the right track here, guys. We're going to have to pay the price at some stage. And you probably had some of those people in your life, and you're like, yeah, fuck off, mate. I had a conversation with my family, for instance. I'm like, man, calm down. It's all good. I'm like, no, we've just given $10,000 more debt per person at that stage. I'm like, that's not good. That's not going to be good. When 50% of households don't net contribute to tax, how the fuck are we going to pay that back? Like, what does it mean? I'm like, this is pretty crazy. It's unprecedented would be the word, wouldn't it? They're like, no, mate, calm down. It's all good. It's all good. But now look where we are. The country's fucked. People will tell you. But there wasn't a lot of complaining going on, was there? We were complaining about something else instead, because that's what we do. This is how we live. We look for things that aren't working out. Now, unfortunately for all of us, we have to go through the downward spiral of an economic cycle. The key word here is cycle. Things go up, things go down. Many of us get caught by the recency effect, where we place too much emphasis on recent events whilst ignoring historical data. I.e., we believe that a market trend will continue indefinitely just because it has been rising in the past few months or even years. We will almost expect it to be what we've become used to. A good example is stories around people who are now in negative equity saying, well, it seems a bit unfair. You feel a bit ripped off. That's how a market works. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. You chose to buy in it. You chose the time to buy in it. And yes, I have empathy and sympathy for people who don't understand it. I get it, but it's part of it's the recency effect. Well, I was told it always goes up. So of course then you're going to feel like this is unfair. You've been ripped off. But if you don't need to use any equity in your property or change your circumstances, it doesn't really matter what the value of your home is. But we get so caught up on that. However, it does matter if you do need to sell and move, or you separate from your partner or something, and then you realize, whoa, we're going to sell this for less than what we paid for it. But that's what happens. That's a market. Everyone teaches you when you drive a car off of a lot that it loses its value. But no one speaks like that in property. No one says, hey, be careful. As soon as you buy that, you're up for all the repairs. You're up for all the future repairs. Take the purchase price and divide it by 100. At least expect to be spending that on it per year for the next 10 years. No way. Hey, forecast out your rates you're going to have to pay out of after-tax income as well. Think about insurance, all of that stuff, right? No. Because the narrative is it only goes up. And if you look at recent data, of course, it has been going up and to the right. And go and have a look. Google Reserve Bank of New Zealand value of housing stock, and have a look at the graph from 1990 or even 1987, but go 1990 through to today and have a look what's happened to the value of housing. And then ask yourself, have people added that much value to houses? Have they made them that much better? And then think, how the fuck have they increased in value so much? Probably because the level of debt. Now, as debt becomes more expensive, then values start to decrease. If you want hard data of that, now search Ryman Healthcare, Arvida, Somerset, and go and have a look what's happened to the value of those companies, which part of their valuation comes from the stock, i.e. property that they're sitting on, and their ability to create more and finance more of it and pay the debt and pay the interest on the debt. Go and have a look at what's happened to their share values to see what interest rates can do to the value of property. Now, all of this will probably swing at some stage, right? And people will forget that we were even talking about negative equity if the thing starts cranking again. But who knows? We could be in a market crash. Well, we are in a property crash, I believe, at the moment. But How long does it go for? I don't know. Mikey suggests that he thinks the bottom is nowish, the next 18 months, and we'll see lower rates and more money getting printed and more debt, and that trend will continue up until the right, and people will just be caught in that 2021 through to 2024 bubble of like, fuck, I was looking at it when house prices were decreasing, but the recency effect tells you it should be going up. So why isn't it for me? This is unfair. This isn't supposed to be how it works. Everyone told me it continues to go up. So you have to be a bit cleaner with your thinking and understand how markets work and how they can change and how economies can change as well. And then we have to adapt around it. And as soon as we get caught in that, this is unfair, why me? Oh, hindsight, I would have done things differently. It's a dangerous, dangerous place to be. So we have to understand that economies move in cycles. And there's always collateral damage and things happen that we don't like to see. We don't want to buy in November 2021 in the property market and then be checking our house price in March or June, July 2024. Hell, we don't want that. But there's always going to be collateral damage. But we will get through. We have before, and I'm betting that we will again. Don't lose hope or give up on your goals. This is so, so important to remember because goals give us something to aim for. Now, at the moment, today it's a beautiful day in Auckland. You can breathe the oxygen in with not too much issues. There was no traffic on the motorway, and you just think, what a fucking beautiful looking city and country we're in. And guess what? Tonight we've got a sold out Eden Park. How the hell do 45,000 people have the money to go to Eden Park during a recession with where we are right now in this market cycle? How the hell is that possible? How is it sold out weeks ago? Well, I'll tell you how. Because people crave experience in a time like this. And tonight for 80 minutes, they're not going to think about house prices, interest rates, all of that shit. They're going to have a moment in time where they can enjoy watching their team and being together and cheering for something, and they've got something to hope for. They've got a goal, and that is to watch their team win a game. So, there's a lesson in there. If you've got the ability to put on events, think about how important that is right now, to bring people together. The All Blacks can bring 45,000 people together at Eden Park when people don't have money. The same with the Warriors. Now, some of you will be listening thinking, well, I'm not the All Blacks, I'm not the Warriors, but that kind of makes sense. You might be involved in a sports club. You're so important in this economic time. You do not understand how important you are. Do you think Christopher Luxon could get 45,000 people into Eden Park for 80 minutes? I personally don't think so. I could be wrong, and maybe he could. Do I think Chris Hipkins could? Probably definitely not at the moment. It just seems like he's nowhere at the moment. And I'm sure he's doing his thing and he'll be working his ass off, and shout out to the Team Red doing their thing and Team Blue. But what I'm trying to show you is I don't think it's going to be the politicians that are going to bring us Kiwi back together. So who the fuck's it going to be? It's going to be the likes of the All Blacks. It's going to be the likes of the Warriors. It's going to be the likes of you turning up on a Saturday, making sure that 30 rugrats can kick a ball around in a shit manner but have the best morning of their life. And the parents go, oh, that was great. Jimbo had such a good time. You're responsible, partly, to bring people back together too. Now, I can sit here and preach that to you. I've got to step into that too. So, we're having a meetup for Keep the Change, and it's on the 12th of September, and we've already got 150 people who want to come along, and it's only really been announced for 48 hours that you could get a ticket. I kind of thought if we got 200, I'd be pretty happy, but I really had my eyes set on 300 to 400. So I'm going to push hard to get that too. But people want to come, and they want to be at things. If you've got the ability to bring people together, the country needs you. The country needs you to be doing that. It might be a fucking barbecue for your neighborhood. You do not understand how important it is for you to take some ownership and leadership in a time like this and say, I'll organize it. Let's roll. So shout out to all those people who are doing stuff like that, because you are the glue that's going to keep people coming back together going, they're a good bastard. I had a good time. Shit, it's good that the All Blacks won. Glad they put that event on. I feel a bit pumped up about that. I got a bit of hope. I had a great time. I'm quite happy. I'm quite grateful. I feel fulfilled. All of that stuff is going to have to be done by all of us, not just the leaders who are politicians. Just my opinion. Anyway, for a second, let's go back doom and gloom. Let's just say we've fucked the country, and you genuinely believe this. Appreciate there's a lot of F-bombs in this one. A, we're fired up, and B, I put it into the title, so I kind of have to carry on with it. Now, just for imagine, if the people of New Zealand took this attitude after the Christchurch earthquakes, oh, pretty fucked down there. Christchurch are right off, boys. Oh, well, they should all move out of there and just carry on. Really? Do you think that's what would have happened? I don't think so, and that's not what did happen. So imagine if we took that attitude towards Christchurch after what they went through. Would we have just not helped out? Would we not got stuck in, built, had a plan, produced, created, improved, carried on? What happens when a tree falls down and your yard smashes over your fence and your pride and joy, your home, your castle, the thing that you go to work for, to pay the bank back for? Ah, fuck it. Just leave it. Do you just leave it there forever? Tell everyone that, hey, mate, you got a tree, smashed your fence down. It's now over the front of the walkway. Postwoman can't get past, can't walk my dog past. It's all fucked, mate. Yeah, just leave it. Who cares? Be there forever. Really? Do you just leave it there? I don't think so. I don't think that's what ends up happening. Someone end up coming and tell you, hey, clean your shit up. Fix this shit up. What about the people who went through the times below? Did they give up on New Zealand? 87 stock market crash, early 90s recession, Asian financial crisis, dot-com bubble, GFC. I doubt it. You're still here. I'm still here. We're still here. We're listening today. They didn't seem to give up on New Zealand. Maybe, just maybe, I'm too much of a realistic optimist, but I can see better future here in New Zealand and better financial times. However, I do believe that it will get worse before it gets better. Again, I'm a realistic optimist. Sorry, but if tens of thousands more people lose their job and want to leave New Zealand and people believe that everything's fucked, how can it not get worse? Couple that with how unprepared people are generally for finances and financially in their lives, how can it not get worse? But we will get through. New Zealand is often cited as the 5th wealthiest country in the world, according to the Credit Suisse Research Institute in their Global Wealth Report. I read that we were once 24th among the leading 100 economies of the world. And perhaps that will go backwards, and perhaps we won't be 5th anymore. And perhaps there is an argument that a lot of that wealth is tied up in property. But if we were once the 24th and we're now the 5th, the lesson here could be that perhaps someone has your money and you have to go and get it if you want it. Now, who's got the money? We've talked about this before. Older people. Now, I chucked up an Instagram story last night to get people thinking about this because it's critical that we do keep this in mind, especially if we want more cash. Now, remember that the All Blacks have sold out Eden Park. So it's possible. It's possible. There is money out there, but we have to be good to get it. Now, people with wealth have benefited from rising interest rates. They may even have more disposable income than they normally do, and they may want to spend that. Back in 2021, Stats New Zealand said that the individual net worth typically increases with age until retirement. Young people have the lowest median individual net worth of $3,000 between the age of 15 and 24. Makes sense, right? They're just getting going. While people in the traditional retirement ages, 65 to 74, had the highest of $433,000. They got the cash. They're going to be earning interest as well. They're making money. You might be able to get it off them. If you want it off them, you need to help them or solve a problem of theirs, i.e. cleaning their gutters, doing their lawns, doing something for them. Just find older people with wealth and solve a problem for them, and you can get yours. Now, households have $243.7 billion in deposits with registered banks. You got to get some of that off them. If you want it, you got to get it off them. Almost $300 bucks, geez, would wish, $300 billion in total loans. So that's the loan side, but look at the wealth side. $243 billion in deposits in registered banks here in New Zealand. The money's there. We've got to be smart to go and get it. The market's not just going to give it to us. We've got to give a reason for the market to give it to us. So think about that and don't just give up on it. Just like this 19-year-old. Hi Luke, I've just surpassed $60,000 invested as of this month end. I'm 19 now, and I'm well on track to hitting $100,000 by 21. This gives the snowball plenty of time to roll. I know that they're a good KTC listener because they're using the language and things that I've spoken about and things that I've tried to do. Recently trying to get my KiwiSaver to $100,000. A snowball, the bitch of the first 100,000 as Charlie Munger teaches us, but the snowball will start to roll. Since listening to you, I've started a firewood business and started raising beef cattle. I would like to say thank you for the content you have put out, keeping my mind and actions clean and striving towards a better future for me and the country. We all live in a better country because of the work you continue to do. Thank you for changing my life. 19-year-old, how good? Now, I know the odd person will be thinking, just like an email I got, well, they've had a hand up. Not everyone can raise cattle. Seems a bit of a weird example to use. Tidy your mind up. That's not the lesson in this. Firstly, how do you know this kid doesn't lease the land and hasn't figured that side of it out? You don't. He didn't tell me that. So we don't know that. But when we're looking at others and comparing ourselves to others instead of what's possible for us, we give up. Or we look at it and go, well, I couldn't do that. But what could you do? What could you do? Why is it always got to be what someone else can do that you can't do? There's heaps of people that can do way more shit than me. Last night I was watching someone who's buying just piece of land after piece of land in Bali and building nightclubs and building hotels and shit. I'm like, holy fuck. This person is just going for it. Way ahead of me. Might not even be what I want to do. But think about what you can do. Don't worry about how other people are getting theirs. And if they've had a hand up. Who gives a fuck if they've had a hand up? Why is that so important to you? You've got the internet. Think about that. Oh, well, no. Seriously, we've got to get rid of this. Oh, they've got stuff that I don't have. You've all got stuff that someone else doesn't have. And if you continue to think like that, you'll always find somebody who's got more than you. And then it's poor me. I couldn't do that. That's not a good example. Give me an example that's relevant for me. Find it for your fucking self. Should be what we want to tell ourselves, right? Because without that level of thinking, we're going to get stuck. And it's going to leave us there, and we're going to feel like we can't get ahead, we can't improve our own situation because we don't have what somebody else doesn't have. Spend $40, do the Clifton Strengths Finder, and find out what strengths you have. And then you'll realize, shit, I'm very unique. I've got these strengths and other people don't have them. Now you're in the same boat. Oh, shit. What happens when you realize that you can do things other people can't do? Well, then you realize you can't go around anymore saying, oh, well, easy for you to say, oh, you've got that, I don't have that. Well, you've got shit that I don't have, and I've got shit you don't have. So lean into that and learn how you can turn it into good things for you, your family, your community, and for the country, rather than looking at other people going, oh, well, yeah, if I had some land too, or their mindset, I'd be raising beef cattle and doing firewood. Who knows? This young fella might be raising it in conjunction with somebody else and just seen it and gone, hey, how can I be a part of this? And they might be doing firewood on somebody else's farm. You just don't know. So don't assume and don't get caught there, because it will continue to make it harder for you when we're trying to fight back against the tide of how hard it already is. So how? Think about it. How does this 19-year-old do this? How do they do this if the country is fucked? How do they see it all so differently to you if that's how you think, that the country is cooked? Tidy your mindset up and you might tidy your life up. There is a quote on the wall as I walk into my office which reads, "The state of your life is a reflection of the state of your mind." Let that sink in. Now that is Ant Middleton, and he says the state of your life is a reflection of the state of your mind. There's some people, I don't like Ant Middleton, so I don't like that quote. Case in point, the state of your life is a reflection of the state of your mind. And that's why I didn't even put his name into the written money mail, because I'm like, there'll be people who don't like him. So instantly, no, why'd you use him as an example? That is exactly why. Because if that's how you see the world, think about what's happening in your mind. If life isn't playing out the way that you would like it to, what are you going to do to fix it? Take the power back. What can you produce, create, or help people with to make it better? What can you produce, create, or help with? Think about that. That will make your life better. Creating things for other people, helping other people, producing things for other people. I promise you, if you stop focusing on yourself and focus on helping other people, I promise you, your life will get better. Yes, we have to put our oxygen mask on first. That's right. But a lot of people have the oxygen mask on and don't realize it. Once you get yourself to that point, then what are the rules? Go and fucking help other people. Don't sit there with your oxygen mask on. Help other people. And if you do that, you will be rewarded. Produce, create, or help. That needs to be your theme to be thinking about. The more you can do that, I swear, life will get better for you. And you'll be focused more on other people, and your life will just naturally get better. So think about that. Now accept the challenge in your reality, but embrace the change that is needed. Yes, I know it's tough out there. Yes, things are trending down. Yes, we've still got a while to go. But this is a cycle, and we will get through. We have to. We have to, for other people, for the people who have gone before us as well. We will get through this if you continue to be bold. You are one of over 10,550 recipients. There's only 55,000 downloads to the podcast in June. Maybe I'm getting too hard-hitting and in your face for some people and they're turning off, but I think it's needed at the moment. Did you know ASB said that New Zealand unemployment rate could hit 6% by mid-2025? Meanwhile, Sharesies had their biggest quarter in June 2024. How do they take money off people when people don't have it? How the hell have they done that? $1.28 billion in trading volumes in the quarter. I got to get out of here, team. Be good out there. Look after yourself. Up the ABs tonight. Shout out to all those sports people. Get rid of that thinking that the country's fucked. Think about what you can do for it. Let's get stuck in and get it back on track ourselves.